Everybody, it's Tracy Lewin and
Mavanwi Smith. How are you doing, Tracy? Nice to have you back in Joburg.
yeah. Well, I arrived yesterday, so interesting. I had a good time in Durban, so now I'm up in chilly Joburg. Let's see how long I can stay here before I flit off again. But I must say it's fun, and you know the nice thing about doing online stuff and being involved in Bitcoin and having a computer and a internet connection, it means that you can actually be anywhere in the world.
This is true. It's amazing.
So Merv, let's kick off with you today. I mean, this is quite interesting. How's these eyes? Are they your eyes?
Beautiful eyes. I was just thinking I could definitely love to have something like that on my face. Well, you know, the reason that I've put this up, I actually wrote a blog on this because I don't know how many people have noticed is the words that they use can be very negative. So they continually talk about what they don't have. They continually moan and groan about how life is not working out for them. And I just absolutely snapped the one night and I thought, I can't take this negativity anymore, you know. And instead of blasting at the person, I thought, well, let me write a post on how this has impacted on my life. So I just want to go through it quickly with you. Look at this is from the Mind Power book by John Kehoe. Absolutely revolutionary. So whoever hasn't got it really should get it and go over it again and again and again so that we can manifest into our lives the things that we're looking for. We're looking for health. We're looking for love. We're looking for prosperity. We're looking for material things. How do you get that? And that book definitely will help you bring into the reality stuff that you only imagine. So let's go through this. Look at the way you are living. You want financial abundance, yet you constantly bemoan your lack of money or how expensive things are. You dwell on what you don't have, the bills coming in. You worry and wonder how you'll get along. You might want financial abundance, but because your consciousness is of lack and worry, you will never experience that abundance. And this comes in quite sneakily into our lives, Tracy. You may even be able to give some examples in yours. But for instance, I was made redundant at the end of last year. And I have never in my life looked at a price tag. I haven't had to read, you know, I've sort of decided that I now need to, you know, pull in my belt and look at a few things, see how am I going to make it till the end of the month, etc. And what I realized is I was developing a consciousness of lack. But before, I never had to look at a price tag. I never had to worry about what the prices were on a menu, etc. And now all of a sudden, because I haven't got that constant, regular flow of income, I started to get concerned. And that concern then developed into a consciousness of lack. Well, let me tell you, I have put an absolute stop to that. I thank the universe, I thank God, I thank whoever you believe in. I just thank him that I no longer have that. I caught myself in that sneaky thing of, well, you know what, I just got to work out how I'm going to pay my bills at the end of the month. Well, that just brought in more worry. So the thing that we focus on expands. So if you want more lack, if you want more problems in your marriage, if you want more arguments, etc., focus on that. But rather, I would like to suggest is that we move away from that. Yes, it is what it is. I'm not saying deny it, but rather focus on what you actually want. So what I actually want is to go to America in November. Okay, so that's where my focus has gone. Besides building my business and educating people on Bitcoins and building everything around me that will give me more comfort. I want to go to America in November. So that's where my focus is.
Where are you going to America in November?
I'm telling you, it's an absolute fact. And my sister and I are actually going to do a cruise from San Diego to Mexico and back. And I am so excited. I cannot begin to tell you. But what I wanted to just get back to this is that it was a sneaky thing that sort of creeps in, sort of like a sly little on the side, undercover, you know. So all of a sudden now it's, oh, I can't get that. It's too expensive. What absolute nonsense. So now I just want to encourage everybody who has had the chance to listen, what you're focusing on. Change your consciousness to what you want rather than the lack of what you've got right now.
Merv, this was brilliant, because I tell you what, sometimes this sneaky guy just comes into my mind as well. And, you know, before you know it, he's, you know, starting to consume you, because you're thinking about what you don't have instead of what you do have.
Exactly.
And in fact, it just reminded me, as you were going along, it just reminded me of Robert Kiyosaki. And what he said is, you know, obviously he has gone through, he is a network marketing guru, but what he has done is he has gone through times where he lost everything, and then he made a huge amount of money. And you know, he wrote the book Rich Dad Poor Dad. And what he says is that if somebody is phoning you, like a debt collector or the bank or whatever is phoning you to say, you know, when are you going to pay your money, and you know, what are you going to do, you know, you owe us this, that, and the next thing. He says, use that as inspiration.
Yeah.
Don't get worked up about it. Don't get negative about it. Don't panic. They can't kill you.
Yeah.
You know, they can't kill you. And but what you need to do is you need to use it as inspiration, so you don't have those guys phoning you.
Yeah.
And that's what. So it's about trying to take the positive out of things instead of focusing on the negative.
Yeah.
You know, as you know, Merv, I'm a positive thinker. I mean, I think I am incredibly. I've always been very optimistic. And it's just who I am, and some people have to work on it. Luckily for me, I just am always upbeat and believing in, you know, in the best, and that things are going to come right, and you know, whatever I'm doing in my life, I'm going in the right direction. Because I've always believed, even when I worked in a corporate job, I've always believed, do the work and the money follows you.
Yeah.
Don't chase after money. Do the work, and the money will follow you.
Yeah. Yeah. I just see like on the Facebook comments how negative people are, and they sometimes they're saying it in jest, but it's not jest. You know, your subconscious mind doesn't know what's real and what isn't. Somebody put a comment on one of my posts, said, well, that's wishful thinking. And I wrote back, I said, it's actually not wishful thinking. Let me show you how it's possible. So I think that if we just sort of focused in on the stuff that we're continually thinking about, we may find that that's where our troubles start, and that's where they can end, is simply by changing what we're consciously focusing on.
Excellent.
So,
Brilliant. Brilliant.
Great.
And I think this has definitely come at the right time, because, you know, we've got some negativity creeping into Bitcoin. And yet there could be, and there probably will be, huge potential here for a price increase, and just everything being totally amazing with Bitcoin, you know, which we believe it will be. And it's all about the harvest of the Bitcoin creation. So you know that currently they are miners are able to get I mean, it's 25 Bitcoin are being created every 10 minutes, and that's going down to 12 and a half. So the way Satoshi Nakamoto designed it or programmed it, that every 4 years it will halve, because you know that we only have 21 million
Correct.
Bitcoin that are going to be created in ever. So this is actually quite an exciting time, and a time that everybody's going to be be looking to see what happens. You know, when the blockchain was when the creation was halved 4 years ago, the price of Bitcoin was only $13.40. Now, you know, now it's sitting at over $400. So it's kind of different, eh? More focused.
Yeah.
Okay, so one of the questions: will miners now when you hear the word miner, a miner is actually a computer. So it's a computer that runs 24/7, doesn't have a break at all. It just constantly runs these algorithms to solve the mathematical problems. So will miners who maintain a network security be able to get through a potential drop in their profitability? Because, you know, you have to just realize that if you are going to do the same amount of work, but the difficulty is increasing, and your reward is going to be halved, of course it's going to make a difference to their profitability. So some older machines or miners will drop out, some less profitable ones will drop out. It is going to happen. But basically what a miner does is they calculate their return on investment over the whole lifetime of the miner. So they don't, you know, they know what's coming their way, and they've done their calculations. So that's why I don't think it's going to be such a huge thing for these guys. There will, like I said, there will be some attrition, but it is what it is. The interesting thing is that these miners as well, what they do is they are future exchanges, and they actually pre-sell their Bitcoin because they know exactly how much Bitcoin they're going to get. So they pre-sell it, and they may pre-sell it at the price today. And at the end of, you know, let's say the whole world drops out of Bitcoin and it drops down to $200. They would still then get the value that it is today. However, if it increases to $1,000, then they're going to kind of lose out. But at the end of the day, they need to make sure that they are getting the return on investment that they have calculated. The other thing is mining hardware is becoming less expensive, you know, and also these computers are getting just so, you know, back in the day when Bitcoin started, I mean, you could actually do it from your computer. Then it worked out. You could actually mine Bitcoin using, you know, the gaming processes. So, you know, things have changed, and that's why it's very difficult for just somebody, an individual, to actually start mining. You know, it's not as easy as it was right in the beginning. The other thing now, as I mentioned, the whole thing about the you know, some of these miners that are going to be dropping out. The question is, will the security of the network be compromised? Because, you know, the less miners that are working, the more opportunity, or rather there could be some risk in terms of security. However, having said that, when, you know, security actually does rise as the technology improves, and this is quite an interesting statement here. In the mid 2015, the Bitcoin network's computing power was 6,000 times that of the world's top 500 supercomputers combined, and it's even greater now. So that's why they're not really worrying about the, you know, if there is a little dip in the security of the network. So very interesting, hey? Can you believe that move 6,000 times?
That is just phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal. Sure.
Because, you know, people, to understand Bitcoin, just know that Bitcoin is really just a bunch of computers talking to each other.
Yeah.
Connected with people, and that's all about, that's actually what open source is. So I've put a comment here, open source. Now, you know, some people have said with open source, is there risk, you know, but the good thing about open source, it means that there are many eyes and hands on the network looking at things and having to verify stuff. And if something is wrong, it just doesn't get verified. So transactions are then, you know, don't go through. So and also a good example of open source is Wikipedia. So anybody can actually go onto the internet and go to Wikipedia and edit one of whatever your subject is. You can edit it. But because so many people are watching what goes on with that particular whatever it is, article or explanation of what something is, it will be changed back very quickly if it is actually a problem. And it just shows you that eyes and hands on something creates more security and more focus.
Yeah.
Interesting that, eh?
It is.
So now what about this rising transaction volume? Because we know obviously it's going to be, if your creation is cutting in half, there will be some issues. Is it going to be transaction delays? Is it going to be people that are miners that are not profitable because of this? They're going to have to shut down. But there is something called segregated witness. It's called SegWit. And this has been proposed, and as we know, blockchain and Bitcoin is a democracy, so it's not owned by anybody, and you have to vote for change. So most of the support from developers and miners are behind the segregated witness, and it means that once this is rolled out, it'll be 1.6 times as many transactions can go through. So they're hoping to do this before July. So I saw another article talking about rolling this out in June. So it'll be interesting to see what happens there. But even if the demand, if the supply is actually cut in half, it does actually mean that the price is going to go up.
For sure.
So that is what I feel. That the price is going to go up. And today I also read another article about some guy who twice before has predicted the price, and one was round when the price went up to $1,000. He predicted that.
Yeah.
And now he's predicting, and it actually went to $1,200, just under. And now he's predicting by the end of this year, it'll definitely be up to $1,000. There are some predictions that July is going to bring in a price of over $600. So, we are going to be watching this very, very closely. And at the end of the day, guys, you just got to consider this, and get some Bitcoin.
Yeah, for sure.
Get some Bitcoin. However, nobody can tell what's going to happen.
That crystal ball, I've been talking to it and it's not answering me, Tracy.
I know. So really it is, we can't predict the future. But we're thinking, that, and there are so many experts that look at everything. And I just look, I'm not an expert. I am a Bitcoin believer, a Bitcoin enthusiast, but I'm not an expert. But yet, I've got to, these guys that are looking very closely at this. And, my money is on Bitcoin, and I totally believe that the price is going to skyrocket. Mm-hmm. What do you think, Merv?
If I just look logically, because that's kind of where I'm at, is people who, there's all these mines, they're out there mining and they're making a profit now. Some are just making a profit and others are sort of like on break even. Those people are going to drop out. The marginal guys are going to drop out. The guys who are mining need to make up for the halving. So what's going to happen to the price then? It has to go up. So that's number one in my mind. Secondly, there's going to be this incredible demand for Bitcoins, because as and when people become more aware of it, find its uses, and fall in love with it, the demand is going to increase. To that, what does that happen economically? It pushes up the price. So, just in my little mind, that's exactly how I think. That price is definitely going to go up. And so now is the best time to get in before July, for sure.
Definitely. And I
don't think it's going to be a shocker like overnight. But I think from July, I think the price escalation, you said the other day, I can't remember, it was on our broadcast, or we were talking about it the other day. There's been 2 really good bull runs. Okay, so what we're going to find, I think, is from July, those bull runs are going to be far more often, and they're going to be more sustained. So the prices are going up, up, up. But I don't think it's going to be overnight from July. But
no, you know what? I'm thinking that it could even be before. It's going to be before that. I'm even thinking June, and the reason for that is because there's going to be people who are going to want to get their Bitcoin or their hands onto Bitcoin before that.
Yeah. Do you remember Do you remember the 2000 when the whole computer story about year 2000? Do you remember that? The chaos, the 2000 or whatever it was.
Yeah.
It was absolute chaos. People were packing stuff in their fridges and their garages and whatever, and it sort of fizzled out. And I think you're right. I think July there's going to be a rush on the bank of Bitcoins.
Well, if you want to watch the countdown, you can go to www.bitcoinblockhalf.com and you will see the countdown to the second. So we're on day 45. Interesting that it's really also creeping up on us, but a very, very exciting time for Bitcoin. And I'm just thrilled that I'm in Bitcoin.
Oh, absolutely.
So to close off, this is a good slide. This chances of success, and this is really about what you tell yourself, Merv.
It sure is.
Exactly. I won't. I can't. I don't know how. I wish I could. I want to. I think I might. I might. I think I can. I can. I am. 100% I did. So you know what? It's almost like saying, okay, I'm going to try and buy some Bitcoin today. Actually, no, you're not going to try. I am going to buy some Bitcoin today.
Yeah.
That's the difference.
Yeah. And one of the nice things actually that the slide shows is that it's a process. So don't knock yourself over because you don't quite can get to it right now. That's awesome English, but you know what I'm saying. So you start off, in the beginning because you don't know anything. Oh no, I won't, and then all of a sudden, before you notice, I did. Yeehaw!
Yeah, and well, for me, this is a decision that you have to make, and if you decide that this is what you're going to do, you just need to go and do it. Yeah. And you can't let anything stop you. That's exactly, for me, Merv, one thing I demonstrate is persistence and consistency. Yeah. And that's exactly what you need to do. I have decided that I will make a huge amount of money out of Bitcoin. I am going to make it. I know I am. And and I know I'm going to do it because I'm doing everything right to lead me to that goal, because I've decided. So you kind of just have to decide.
Yes, it is a decision.
And everybody needs to. You can't decide for someone else. This is a personal thing. You have to decide yourself.
Yeah.
So in closing, Merv, would you like to add anything?
No, just to make sure that you watch your thoughts. Then start to decide what you want. Focus on that rather. Focus on what you've got more of. And then end up at 100% I did.
Yes, 100% I did. And so 100% you and I did this today. So so we'll put it into a blog and we will distribute it soon. And I hope you enjoyed it. If you want to watch previous recordings that we've done, because we've done quite a few now. This is number 11. It's all on our YouTube channel. We'll put the link in the comments below and enjoy. So have a wonderful, wonderful Bitcoin week. And we'll chat again next week.
Cheers, guys. Till next week.
Cheerio.